y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming across my channel, I hope you decide to stick around and join me here. I would love to have you here. If you're returning, thank you as always for your continued support. So today's video is going to be discussing two of the top preps that I think that we need to think about. A lot of us may have already thought about this, but some of us, I'm sure, it just didn't cross your mind. So I'm just going to get right into today's video, and I hope you guys enjoy. So the first thing that I feel like is one of the most important preps besides having food and water, because you guys know that we all like to prep food, water, generators, you name it, we're prepping it. But this is something that should be one of the top priorities in my opinion, and that is prepping your mental. So to me, what prepping your mental is like a whole mindset thing. And so a lot of us, I'm going to give you an example. So a lot of us are like hooked to our devices nowadays. A lot of us have our heads in our cell phones. Our kids play video games. Our kids are on the iPads, tablets, computers, you name it, they're on it. So my whole thing is, if there's a grid down situation, you guys, a lot of us are going to have a hard time surviving and just being able to get through the day if we don't have access to our devices. Our devices, we are attached to them more than we think. For instance, a couple years ago, when I was working in the office, y'all, I forgot my phone, and this was a job that thankfully, you know, my supervisor was okay with me running home really quick, but I got to the office and realized I did not have my phone on me. You guys, I about lost it. For like the hour that I didn't have my phone, I felt like I was so lost. And that's sad to say, but I'm being honest with you guys. I'm sure there's a lot more people who feel the same way and just really struggle without having their cell phone next to them. So needless to say, I was able to go home and get my phone, and that made my day so much better. You know, it's like the little things. When it comes to our kids are so used to having like the iPads and video games at their disposal that we really haven't thought to think, what if they don't have access to it? A lot of kids probably, I'm sure, will have meltdowns. Now, my kids won't have a meltdown, but I'm sure they'll be miserable, acting like, you know, the worst day of their lives. So we need to start doing a few things, I think. And one of those things I thought about was kind of doing like a practice test run. So for our family, it's going to be on a Sunday. So typically our kids aren't allowed on devices until mid-afternoon on Sundays. Sometimes later. It has been as late as like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But I kind of shoot for like 12. Sometime between 12 and 2, they're allowed on their devices. So prior to them getting on devices, it's like their downtime. They can just chill, they can read a book, just do whatever it is, but not be attached to those devices. So just start with a day. I feel like 2 days, you know, starting out would be hard. It would be hard for me. So we're just gonna pick a day and just go with our devices for the whole day. For our family, it's gonna be best if it's on a Saturday or a Sunday. So we're probably gonna go with Sunday, being that we don't get our devices till later on in the day anyways. So that day, we will not have access to phones. We won't be able to check emails, text messages, talk on the phone. Kids won't be able to access their gaming, no TikTok. They're not going to be on it. No TV, no anything. We're going to use the resources we have. If the kids want to color for the younger ones, if they want to put together puzzles, if they want to be out in nature, that's completely okay. Whatever it is, they just will not have access to devices, no electronics. So this should be interesting, but it definitely will prep them for a grid down situation where we have to go without electric and just access to those things like indefinitely. Because the thing about that, if there is a grid down, we don't know how long we'll be without like power and just basic necessities. It can be a couple of days, it could be a week, and it can be a few months. That's the thing. There are storms that come through and people don't have electric and just basic utilities for weeks and months on end. I've been through hurricanes and we've lost power. Believe it or not, being in North Carolina, we have had snowstorms. I've been in ice storms where we were without power for 4 days, and it might not seem like a lot, y'all, but my son was younger at the time, and it was a lot to have a newborn and 4 younger kids during, you know, a power outage. No heat, no anything. We couldn't even stay in our house. And I didn't prep at the time, so you guys can just imagine how that went. So the second part to this video will be prepping our bodies. So a lot of people might not think that we need to, you know, prepare our bodies, not just our mental and our mind, but our physical bodies. So I will go ahead and say that some people are already starting like the process of kind of retraining their body. And what I mean by that is they are restricting calories to a certain amount of calories per day. And some people are also doing like a fasting type situation where they don't, you know, they go without food for like 12, 15 hours, just depending on what they want to do, just to get their bodies used to maybe not having food like around the clock, like, because we have access to food. Most of us have access to food 24/7. If we're hungry, we go in our kitchens, we grab something out the fridge, we grab something out the cabinet, and that's it. But you know, if anything should pop off, yes, we have food, we have our rice, we have our beans, but it's like, how long is that going to last? Some of us only have pantries, you know, for 3 months. Some of us only have pantries for 6 months, a year. Some of us have for 5 years, 7 years, and on up. But if you have food in your pantry for, I would say, a couple of months, what happens after that? If the world's not open and we are just like in a grid down situation, where are we going to get our food from? So keep in mind that also plays a part, like mentally. So, you know, just because your body's all one, your body and mind, they all function as one. So a lot of people are preparing their bodies in that aspect. So something else that I want to talk about is just physically being fit. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm the first one to say, I'm not fit at all. I am so out of shape, and it would be problematic in a grid down situation. If I had to bug out for any reason, y'all, I'm gonna be a mess. So I need to get my body together, and I encourage you to do the same. So you can't just go by the way somebody looks and think that they're fit. Here's how to tell if you may be out of shape. For me, I can walk up a flight of steps and y'all, my thighs are burning and I'm out of breath. That is not okay. That is not okay. Now, if you have a medical situation where you have a lung issue, or, you know, COPD, asthma, or something like that, I could see it being, you know, an issue. But y'all, I have no health issues, nothing at all, and I'm out of breath. So for me, that just lets me know that I will be no good to bug out, especially if I had to like take off running through the woods or wherever it is that I bugged out to, or if I had to be on foot for a certain amount of time, I would be no good just because I'm not fit. What you should probably start doing is maybe start taking walks and challenge yourself. If you can only walk like a quarter of a mile one day, or even, you know, just down to the end of your street, that's okay. But just push yourself to do more and more every day. Same thing with running. You can challenge yourself. You could start walking and then challenge yourself to start jogging a little bit, maybe a minute of your walk, and just increase that, so you build up your endurance. I mean, this isn't something that happens overnight, but it's something that we definitely need to do to start preparing our bodies. Another thing, you don't know what kind of weight you'll have to lift or what all you'll have to carry, and so you need to be physically fit for that. So I would say maybe throw some weights in a book bag, and when you're going on that walk, you know, you're carrying stuff. You're used to, like, your body's getting used to carrying heavier things. I mean, I know we all unload our car full of groceries, but that's not really that much, y'all. We're walking from the car to the house and that's it. But you need to be like getting used to lifting objects, I feel like, and, you know, on a regular routine basis. So the most important takeaway from this video is just really to be on your A game. If you're not where you think you should be mentally and physically, just for your mind and body, I think you should take a minute to sit down and create a plan. Jot down notes, just figure out where you need to improve in certain areas. If you're there already, you're awesome, congratulations. But there's a lot of us that just aren't there yet. So the fact that I'm out of shape says a lot, because believe it or not, y'all, when I was in high school, which was forever ago, I actually used to run track and I was a cheerleader. So the combination of those two things, you would think that I would have maintained that because I did short distance when I did track. But you know, as the years progress, you know, having a family and just the work life and just being a mom, fitness actually has taken a back burner, and I know that's not great. So like I said, I hope this video helps you guys out. If it did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video.